Matthew, Matthew, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Matthew? I am modeling this thing. It's called a vacuum oven. Yes, it's glorious. Glorious. That's about it. LOL. Let me look at myself, because that's what I like to do. So, yeah. I mean, basically taking an existing oven and modeling it for marketing purposes. That's what I'm doing. But I need to fix something here because there is a seam that goes around inside as a silicone seam that's supposed to be directly adjacent to the window. So I need to extend this spot here, but it's gonna have to be inside. But I need to get a measurement exactly how deep I want to go. Ding, that's what she said. So here we go. We're gonna go like this. We're gonna draw a little line here. We're gonna draw it all the way to this, so I know this is just like a marker, so I know that's how deep I gotta go to please the oven. So I'm gonna go here, hide this sucker. Crap, that didn't hide the other one. I have to combine the two. The edit, cut. But I'm gonna paste it right here in place. And that should basically group the object with its parent. So now I can just hit hide and the whole thing hides and I can see what the heck I'm doing. So now I'm gonna go around here, turn this thing around, zoom out a little bit. Because what I do zoom outs. Yeah, zooming out, it's great. So let me see, I got that as my measurement. What I want probably to do is kind of define this a little better so that I have guides to help me. But I'm going to delete all these extra guides here to kind of clean up the workspace. Excuse moi. And I'm going to try to draw a guide from here. Well, it's going to be a little tricky because I guess it's probably easier just to do something like this. Just going to draw a line that is right on the red axis. So when it highlights red like that, it lets you know that you're right on the axis. So this is going to help me draw a guide because I can draw guides right off of that. Sometimes in this 3D space, it's a little tricky to orient yourself properly to the product you're trying to build. So, see, now we got a nice line going, and I can just make cool guides that are going to be right on the same plane as the line I just drew. So it's great. Now I'm going to actually do one, and I'm going to do one that matches up directly with the top of this plane. Like right there. I think that should work. And that should be with the very top. So that's going to be my top border right there. And I'm going to use that to then kind of do the measurements based off of the measurements of the actual entire door. So I'm going to draw another line here so that it can help me again draw a line, make a guide. And SketchUp's pretty good about kind of like snapping to where you want to go, but it gets a little bit of getting used to. So now I have these two great guides, except I'm probably going to want one for the right so that I can get equal measurements on both sides. And we'll do that by just pulling this and aligning it straight up. Aligning it straight up here. Like so, and that's gonna snap on. There, we got it. So now I basically built this entire oven just by eyeing a photo and making up measurements. So I'm basically just using my eyes. I have this is definitely not like to scale for say, but it's close enough for the marketing material we need. Okay, so we got that. What we're gonna want to do now is essentially come up with a certain distance. And if we look at the photo, if we look at this photo here that I'm using as my reference, you can see that this particular oven has like this chrome piece that kind of sticks out a bit. And the idea is that this is going to make contact with the seal on this side. I don't know, whatever you call that, seal, seam, border, whatever. And it will create a vacuum once the gas gets pulled from the oven. So I am going to make something like this. It bulges out. Dun-dun-dun. But the thing is, I think I want to say that this is actually it's hard to tell from this picture, but I believe that this actually is like a diagonal, like a bevel that goes in, and it's not actually on the sides, but it's hard to tell with this thing. Because I saw another one of the ovens that had something similar, but it was more well defined. So I'm just going to kind of make it up. As long as it's close enough. I mean, I'm actually going way to more detail than I have to, but that's how I roll. So let's do like, I'm going to just go like maybe, it's kind of weird. It should be on the blue axis. There you go. Sometimes it's a little tricky to get it to be on the blue axis. So we're going to do like 13 inches in. Yeah, it looks pretty decent. You know, for demonstration purposes, it's better to over exaggerate things. I mean, I'm sure you've seen those IKEA commercials, or not commercials, but the IKEA manuals that, you know, basically resemble what you're trying to build, but isn't really accurate. So that's basically the idea with this. So that people can get an idea about the product. So I'm going to draw another guide and bring it all the way down. So once I drew that guide there, I can actually select it with the arrow pointer thing and then use the moving tool to just kind of move it further down where I need it to go. And I'm going to move it straight to the bottom piece. And hopefully it just snaps on right there. Yep. I think it snapped on in the right place. Actually, it actually went too low. I think it went too low. I can't. It's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, it went too low. But if I get in this angle, I can kind of like see, move it up now. Yep, there you go. And it snapped right to where I needed it to go. Do I even have anybody actually watching this right now? Lol. Have I bored all of you out of your minds? Alright, so I'm going to share this because I don't want to just talk to myself all day. Let's see. Please stand by. I should sign on to Got Chosen, or not Got Chosen, Orlando Design. Alrighty then. So we got our guide set up almost. Let me just draw one guide here. It's gonna be 13. Yep. And now what we're gonna want to do is basically we're going to draw a square. Well, yeah, we are going to draw a square. Contemplating whether this was the best way to do this. Actually, it's not the best way to do this because it would be much better if I just draw a line to the surface of there and then draw another line to the surface of the inside of the oven. But I have to be on the green axis. There we go. And then do the same thing down here. You'll see what I'm doing in a minute. It's just a little tricky because there's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. We don't want to hurt cats. They're beautiful creatures. So here we go. Now that we got those little things, this is actually an oven, an entire oven system. So that's what it's going to be. I'm just doing the inside of the door because the door needs to come up directly to it needs to make direct contact to the actual oven part, and in order to create a vacuum. And if you were wondering what these ovens are used for, essentially they're used for the final purification process of essential oils. So essential oils are usually extracted through a butane, propane, molecular distillation process. But the problem with that is that after you're done with that, there's like butane or propane mixed in with the essential oils. So you want to then put it in a vacuum oven and the reason you want to use a vacuum oven is because a vacuum oven basically drops the boiling point of butane and propane so that it can evaporate from the essential oil much easier than turning up the heat and possibly burning the essential oil in the process, which you don't want to do. So now you can see I drew this plane. But now I got to make all the edges of the plane. So basically the square that I drew, I want to connect it directly to the inner window piece here, and in order to be able to then cut out a piece of the plane, because right now it's not really going to do what I want it to do. I got to unselect these little pieces over here because it's going to want to. So anyways, I right click and hit intersect faces with selection. And it's going to tell me no intersections found. And that is because actually I have the plane outside of the group. So I'm going to cut that out and then double click inside, make sure that I am within the editable areas of the original wall or door. And then I'm going to hit edit, paste, and place. Bam. So it automatically actually cut out the centerpiece for me. So that's great. I don't have to worry about cutting the inner piece out. But now I got to extrude it and pull it out. See how cool that is? Now I can pull it to whatever thickness I want. And we wanted it a little thick so it feels better for the oven, if you know what I mean. So here we go. I'm going to eyeball it. I'm going to say that's about right there. And let's look a little closer. And that's pretty much perfect. So now that we have this piece that sticks out a bit, I'm going to want to see how it's like a blue color. I don't want it to be that blue color. I want it to actually just match the same color as the outside for demonstration purposes, just to keep everything uniform. Later on, I can texture it or whatever, but right now I don't need to do that. So, and all what's happening basically is SketchUp has a certain color for the inside of an object and the outside of an object. And so all it's doing here, it just reversed uh, the plane that makes up the inside and outside. So all I got to do is right click and hit reverse faces, and bam, it's back to the color that I want it to be. And reverse faces, reverse faces, reverse faces, blah, blah, blah. So there. I am using YouTube right now. I told Matt jokingly that I should basically share what I'm doing because, or stream what I'm doing because Matt's so bored. So I told him you can watch me work on SketchUp, and so he linked me to YouTube and follow the instructions, and bam, it created the. Essentially, what it's doing is using Google Hangouts and making it publicly available to anybody. And then you do in Google Hangouts, there's a screen share option. You just click on that, and it will automatically share whatever screen you want on your computer. If that answers your question, Ravel. And reverse faces. All right, cool. So now we pretty much got it to where we want it to be, and we can unhide the rest. We can kind of see how it looks like. Unhide last. Bam. So bam, we got an awesome connection here to the rest of the oven. As you can see, the little inner piece we just built is directly just right on the oven right there. So it'll be a nice vacuum finish. I have a little bit of a line here, which I'm going to get rid of because it's annoying. All right. Cool. So we're almost done. We're almost done. We're almost done. And after I finish modeling this thing, I'm going to basically do a couple of screenshots of it with the door open, the door closed, etc., etc. So you can kind of get an idea of what's in here. If you hide this, you can see that I also created, this is a molecular sieve. So essentially, well, it's a molecular sieve filtration system attached to the oven that I also modeled. And what this does is eventually is filled with highly absorbent beads. And the beads basically will absorb as much butane or propane that gets pulled from the vacuum and then collected in the chamber, so that the air that goes back into the oven does not contain butane or propane. So essentially, you are going. It's a solvent, and it's taking all the butane and propane out of the system before it goes back in to speed up the process and give you a better product at the end. So yeah. All right. Edit, unhide. You know what I should do? I should totally freaking stream this on the Bogart Facebook page. Like 60,000 likes. I'm sure everybody would like watch that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go to Facebook, yo. We're gonna go to Facebook and we're gonna log in up in this bitch. And I'm gonna stream this shit, dog. All right, hold on. Let me check. I'm trying to get Facebook to scrape this thing. I'm about to get like a ton of people up on this thing. Alrighty, so one watching. Well, I got one person watching here. Great. All right. Um, let me see something here. How do I communicate with people? There we go. Ask questions here, I guess. Whatever. All right. So, as I was saying, I'm here modeling our new ovens. These are our 4.9 cubic feet ovens that will basically purify your essential oil extraction. Um, right now, I'm about to create the shelving inside of the oven. We're going to hide this here, the front door. And right now our oven is empty. Alrighty, we gotta make, let's see, I think like, yeah, yeah. We are going to All right, so this particular oven has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shelves. We're gonna want to make these shelves. So what I'm going to do to make it easier on myself is I'm actually going to draw the shelves directly on the back of this wall. And let's see what the measurements are. So we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shelves. So to make them evenly spaced out, first I'm going to measure. So it's like 372. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need to do like what? I don't know, like 13, like 20, 20. Still like, let's see, like 30, 30. Let's do like, probably like 40. Yeah, let's do 40. So we want to have like 40-inch spacing. So 40 times 7, 280. So what's the total? $372. So $372 minus $280. $344. No. 72 minus 280. These things are really thin, but the front piece is thicker, but I guess that doesn't matter too much. We're just gonna pretend they're not that thick. 92. Divided by. So it's gonna be 15 thick. Anyway, 372 divided by 662. Okay. So now I'm gonna make some guides. Determine that use 62 as my base spacing. Mind you, this is not to scale. This is just some models I'm making for marketing purposes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, well, see, that's the problem right there. Problem right there is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So in actuality, I needed to do that by 7 because it's using the very bottom as a thing, but it's not a thing. So it's actually 53. So let me undo these guides. So 53, 3. It's not grabbing. 53. 53. 53. 53. All right. That should work. Now we're gonna make them like super thin. But in reality, I think that I'm gonna make them thick first, and then I'm gonna thin each one out. Although I should just make one and duplicate it. It's probably the better idea. The problem with that is, I guess I can do that. Yeah, I'll make one and then duplicate it. So here we go. In order to do that, I'm gonna have to work from the outside of the group because I don't want the polygon that I create to merge with the actual back piece of the oven. So now we have our guide. I'm just going to create a rectangle all the way across, and I am going to pull it with the extractor, with the extrusion tool here. See how it's like, now we have a nice little shelf there. I'm not exactly sure how deep it is. Well, actually, it's pretty deep inside. It's about 2 inches in. So this actually is probably good. Huh. Interesting. I just noticed something funny that the insulation inside the oven actually goes pretty much all the way to the... So let me do something real quick. I'm gonna make it match, be more accurate. So from what I'm looking at here at my reference imagery, the inside of the oven actually comes up. Like, I can't pull it. It's not letting me pull it. Yeah, it's only letting me go backwards. So in order to do what I want to do here, I'm gonna have to hide this thing because it's like in my way. And then I'm going to want to create an inner rectangle. In fact, well, yeah, that didn't work too well. You can just copy, edit, paste in place, and then extrude it right away. No, it's not letting me. Damn it. Okay, so it doesn't work. I'm going to have to do something else. I'm going to have to basically... All right, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to create... I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. Essentially, this inner piece here is a little hollow, and it's kind of like hollowed in. But it actually needs to come up. The wall needs to match up directly with the outside entry hole, or whatever you want to call it. So let me just make a rectangle on the outside, which I'm going to bring in because it'll just be easier to do it this way. Like so. That should be fine. So now I'm going to bring this surface inwards. Like so. See how I'm bringing it in like this? To there. And I bring it down a bit so you can't actually see it. The top. And I'm going to bring it in a little bit right there so you can't actually see it sticking out. You can see it in the back, which actually is not too bad because I can use this for like reference and I can just hide those lines later. So I'm going to just make that particular inner wall into its own group. And then we're going to duplicate it. And then pull it to the other side. Because obviously it needs to be the same on both sides. And then, okay, yeah, it should still be okay. And then we're going to do the same thing, but we are going to copy, edit, paste in place. Now we're going to, oh shoot, so do that. Forward. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. We're going to then rotate this around the red axis. Oops, wrong axis, maybe green, let's see. Yep, green it is. And then we're gonna bring this up. So this is gonna be our top piece, our top part of the wall. Okay, so I'm just gonna manually have to enter the information here. So 180, 90, 6, 185, 185.5. Perfect. And we're gonna bring it in. Gosh, I hate that one. It's like, oh, sometimes it's a little tricky to align this thing. So I just bring it to a point where I can align it, figure out how long that was. Is it like 140 or something like that? I don't know, 190. Not too much. 180. 181. 182. That's just about right. So 182.5. That should be inside. Nicely hidden. Okay. I mean, at this point, you can kind of start hiding the lines because it might get a little hard to see later. And we're going to hide this line here because I don't want to have to deal with that. Yeah. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. So we're going to do the same over here. We're going to hide this line here. Probably hide the bottom one because we don't need to see those lines ever. We don't ever need to see those lines. We don't ever need to see those lines. We don't ever need to see those lines. Hide. 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 And then we'll do the same thing for the top. Hide. 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 I guess I could do like select all connecting sections or intersections and hide, but sometimes it does some wacky things when I do that. So I'd rather not take the risk. Because I can't handle risk. You can't handle risk, all right? So here I go. I'm going to copy this, copy, edit, paste in place. Let's see if we can get this perfectly aligned at the bottom without any BS. And Bingo was his name. B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O. Well, Bingo was his name. All right, so let's see if we can hide this line. I think that's all we really need, except I just noticed it's a little bit not quite flush, but I can move that right here, see? Now it's almost perfect. All right, cool. So it's a minute detail, and it probably took way longer than it needed to. But you know, we're all about details here at Bogart. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. Now going back to my shelving unit over here, I am going to pull this guy up now, and I am going to bring it just a hint right here, inwards like that. And now we're going to make it a hollow on the inside, because there's actually like a lip that comes down on the actual oven. There's also like these border pieces that I may want to design on here, but I don't know. Let's see how I feel about that. See how far I get. So I'm going to bring this in a bit, like so, because it's pretty thin. And then I'm going to bring this up, like so. And we got a good piece right there. And that's our shelf. See? It's like concave. There's this like weird piece over here, but that's because when I brought it in, it was like kind of weird. Anyway, that's gone. So finally, you know what? We really should just be as legit as possible with this. So let me draw a line from the edge to this edge over here. And the same over here. And I'm going to pull this up here. About it. It's almost a tall thickness right there. There we go. And then bring it down. And then we're going to extrude it just a hair. And we do the same on the other side. Kind of wanted to match this. How tall is this? Like 837.64. All right. Yeah, well, now I did it. Great. What? We're going to want to extrude this thing. I'm going to pull it in with just a sketch. Okay, that's pretty good. All right. There's like a hole back there. The tricky part is actually, well, technically it should all be, yeah. Actually, it's not. That sucks. So now we want to basically just duplicate these like 6 times. Okay. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. Edit, copy, paste in place. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. And then edit, copy, paste in place for the last one. Ta-da! Looking good, looking good. Sweet. I'm happy with it. I do notice there's like these holes up in here. I don't know, those are holes or attachments. I can't really tell. But just for the sake of being accurate, I think I'm gonna add a hole here. And that hole basically is where the, well, where the, I can't tell. Is that a hole? Where the, yeah, there's one down there at the bottom. It's crazy shit on the top. Okay, I think those are just where the things are connected. So I'm gonna draw a hole somewhere in here, put it in the middle. Essentially, that's where where the where the intake essentially for filter thing. See what that did. Whoa, that is crazy. We went a little too far there. Okay. You just need to go a little bit inwards just to demonstrate. Shoot. Oh, we could do this actually. I want to make it easier. Let's see. So now it's going to allow me to pull it in relative, maybe. I could be completely wrong. Apparently I am completely wrong. And I think I know why I did this. It did this because the sections aren't connected. Like, I gotta do intersect selection. Fudge. I hate when it does that shit. Ah, that's why. What the fuck is this? You know what it is? I think that it... I'm not really sure what the heck is going on. Let's see. To be honest. Just oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. We have a hole there. We don't need it to go all the way. What we need to do... Oh, well, look at that. The whole back piece is all jacked up now because these stupid holes. So what we want to do is intersect selection. Now when we get rid of this, it should be fine. And we'll just hide that circle. No one's going to see the back of that thing. Yep. Got a nice little hole there. Maybe not the most centered hole. Maybe we can center it. Let's see. View. Camera. Front. And then we're gonna try to just select this piece here. And that's good. Cool. Cool. I think we're pretty much done. For reals. It's going down for real. It's going down for real. I need to save for one. And I need to edit. Unhide. There we go. Oh, whatever. It's a little hole in the back. Never kill anybody. Whatever.